I never imagined I'd be the kind of man, standing in his own kitchen, staring at his wife and another man who looked far too comfortable in my home. My name's Daniel. I'm 38 years old. I've been married to Emma for 9 years. Steady, ordinary, uneventful years. Or at least that's what I believed. Emma and I met at a friend's wedding. Back then, she was laughter and warmth, the kind of person who could make silence feel safe. Over time, that laughter turned sharp, her warmth became conditional. I kept telling myself, every couple goes through hard seasons. You work, you bend, you love harder. I did all that. I worked, I stayed, I tried. But what I didn't see was that while I was building our future, she was already living in someone else's present. It began with small changes, new perfume, sudden gym habits. Her phone always turned face down. I didn't want to believe it. When you love someone, your mind becomes their best defense attorney. Then one night, she forgot to log out of her laptop. A message appeared. Can't wait to see you again tomorrow, babe. Same place. The name was Erin, her coworker. I stared at that message for what felt like forever, the kind of forever that makes time lose meaning. I didn't confront her that night. I needed proof. So I quietly hired someone. A week later, I had photos, dates, and a truth I couldn't unsee. The next evening, I came home early. The house smelled like her favorite candles. 2 glasses sat half full on the counter. I stepped into the living room, and there he was. Aaron, relaxed like this was just another Tuesday. Emma froze. He didn't. He had the nerve to say, "Hey man, maybe we should talk." Talk. I laughed. It wasn't a normal laugh, more like something cracked inside me. About what? I asked. Your role in my marriage? Emma began crying, hands trembling. Daniel, please just listen. I didn't mean for you to find out like this. That line hit me like a punch. Not sorry for doing it, just sorry for getting caught. I remember the cold climbing up my spine. Something inside me went perfectly still. So I asked quietly, is he leaving? Emma wiped her tears and whispered, no, he's staying. At least for tonight. For a moment, everything blurred. My mind tried to shut down. I looked at her, really looked, and realized this wasn't my wife anymore. This was someone else entirely. I didn't shout or throw anything. I just nodded. All right, I said. Then I'll pack a few things. I went upstairs. She followed, begging, sobbing, asking me not to make a scene. But I wasn't creating a scene. I was making a decision. I took my clothes, my laptop, my father's old watch, and the little dignity I had left. Before I left, I noticed something on the dresser. Aaron's wallet. It must have slipped from his jacket earlier. Inside were cards, cash, and a photo of him and Emma at a hotel I didn't recognize. But what caught my eye was a slim black USB drive tucked behind his ID. I don't know why I took it. Instinct, maybe. Something inside whispered, take it. I walked out without another word. The night air hit like a slap, sharp and cleansing. The next day, I plugged that USB into my laptop. That's when everything changed. The drive back to my apartment that night was silent. Too silent. You start hearing things you've ignored for years. The hum of the tires, the ache in your chest when your heart's tired but still beating. I didn't cry. I'd spent every tear in those 5 minutes in the kitchen. I stared at that small black USB, harmless looking, yet burning a hole in my hand. When I opened it, I saw random files, PDFs, spreadsheets, invoices. I almost closed it until I noticed a folder titled private_confidential. Inside were videos. Many of them. Some with Emma. Others with different women. And one labeled clients. It took me a while to understand what I was seeing. Aaron wasn't just cheating. He was filming his affairs with married women, using the footage to blackmail them, including Emma. Anger, disgust, disbelief, all twisted inside me. But underneath it all, a strange calm. Because for the first time, the power wasn't his or hers. It was mine. I copied every file, every folder. Then I sent one anonymous email to his company's HR department. Attached was a short clip, clearly showing him. No name. No signature. Just the words. Your senior sales manager has been using your client list for personal entertainment. By the next afternoon, the internet had done its job. The story spread through the office like wildfire. Erin was suspended within hours. By evening, fired. That night, Emma called. Her voice was shaking. Daniel, what did you do? I kept my tone calm. Nothing you wouldn't have done if you still had a conscience. She started crying again, desperate.
He's ruined.
They're saying he might be investigated. Daniel, please, they'll find out about me.
That's when it hit me.
She wasn't afraid for him. She was afraid for herself. I told her, maybe that's what happens when you let filth into your life. You get dirty too. There was silence. Then she whispered, You took something from him, didn't you? Yeah, I said. His leverage, his job, his reputation, the same things he took from me. My peace. She sobbed harder. You can't just destroy people like this. I exhaled softly. I didn't destroy anyone. I just let the truth out. That was the last time I ever heard her voice. 2 weeks later, the divorce papers arrived. No surprise. I signed them quietly. No ceremony, no bitterness. The apartment feels different now, cleaner. Not because of new furniture or paint, but because the air finally feels breathable. Sometimes, I still think of her. The way she laughed, the way she'd rest her hand on my chest while we danced. But then I remember how easily she looked at me that night and said, He's staying. That moment killed something inside me, but it built something else, clarity. You spend years believing love means holding on, forgiving, fighting. But sometimes, love means walking away with your dignity, even if it means walking alone. People say revenge doesn't heal. Maybe that's true. But closure sometimes needs a dose of justice. And I found mine. The USB still sits in a drawer, not as a trophy, but as a reminder of what happens when you give your heart to someone who mistakes it for weakness. I don't hate her anymore. I don't even hate him. But I'll never forget the look in her eyes when she realized I wasn't the fool she thought I was. The trembling hands, the pale face, the silence. That was the moment she finally saw what I took from both of them, their control.